to life. And McFarlane has this really great way of drawing from even back in the early Spider-Man days when he first started doing, when Venom was introduced as a character, and as he went on to do the Spawn series, just this great way of drawing these really well done maniacal sorts of smiles. And that's exactly what the guy kind of embodied. So we sought him out to help us bring the guy to a three-dimensional level. The idea for the cover itself was one that we came up with, and it just basically entailed the guy sort of leading thousands of people into battle, so to speak, all with their fists raised, all with these serious, stern looks on their faces, and their clothes look like they've just been through a war, and they have some, scratches and blood on them here and there, and he's just leading the march, if you will.
I went to the website and I saw that you could download each character as an avatar in case you have instant messaging or something. I thought that was interesting. But now the first single off it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Stricken, and it is Guarded. Guarded is being played also.
Guarded was just something we threw out there to whet people's appetites. It wasn't geared as a official single release. Just kind of give people a vibe.
Yeah,
How long have you had those? Are they heavy?
These particular ones, are you
Yeah.
talking, or the piercing in general?
Do they ever poke you like when you sleep?
Only when I press my face into something really hard.
That could be dangerous and fun at the same time. Anyway, so get back to the CD. I had a chance to watch Stricken, and one of your guys just told me that it was filmed at the same hospital that you filmed one of your other videos. No, it wasn't?
No.
Where was Stricken filmed?
It was filmed in an old abandoned hospital that actually part of Nightmare on Elm Street was filmed.
The boiler room.
Mikey's drum scene was in the Freddy Krueger boiler room.
That's right.
So
I remember I read somewhere you were saying something about you were kind of almost expecting him to, come out, but you were like, you had your drumsticks, and he just had those stupid fangy things on his hands. So.
Yeah, he's a puss. He was afraid of bullets.
Excellent. So you guys are out of Chicago, and that's a good thing. The Bears. How often do you guys
The
get
Bears.
there?
Whoa.
The Bears.
How often do we get back there?
Yeah.
Not very. At least not while we're on the road, anyway.
Management likes to tell us that there will be a few days in between tours, but that always seems to...
Lies. All lies.
All seems to go away. We're always
What do you
busy.
guys miss the most about not being home, other than obvious stuff, or maybe just what do you miss?
king
the
size
most?
bed.
Our own beds.
Beds, family and friends.
Do your feet hang off when you're in a hotel?
No,
Do you have to sleep
I'm
in
all
an
right.
embryonic position to film
No,
the
but I
bed?
have my daughter out on the road with me too. She usually sleeps sideways or pushes me off the bed, so I'm more fighting to stay on it than.
In a king size bed, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
No, I do. She still finds a way to nudge me off.
All right. Now, can you just kind of briefly go over as far as how the band started, and I thought you had a very interesting audition, but I would like one of these other gentlemen to talk. Maybe Mike could say something.
Yeah, you're good with the history. Go ahead.
Well, we've known each other for years around the south side of Chicago local scene, and we had gotten together in the early 90s and took a run at it and didn't really have much success with vocalists, so we kind of branched off. I went with an old local band that I was playing with at the time. That kind of defunct, and we had gotten back together and started auditioning singers again, going through the process of, after we ran out of options around the circle of friends and people we knew from the neighborhood, nobody was really doing the job. Nobody was original enough, had something new to offer, so we'd taken out an ad in a local music magazine and that's always a risky thing to do because you get a lot
Put
of...
up a can of worms.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, and we've experienced that, and it was a nightmare. So we tried at least this time screening the phone calls a bit and seeing who seemed like they had their act together. And So I had spoken to David, and you know, we seemed to be on the same page and shared a lot of the same taste in music. And he'd come out, and this was in '96, August of '96, and it was. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but I mean, it was just the chemistry was there from day one. He had come out, and no other singer was really doing anything original. Nobody had the balls to work on original music, and that's the first thing that was impressive about David was instead of just doing cover songs like we did with the other guys that had come out to audition, David's like, you know, forget that. Just you guys play something that's your own, and let me show that I could come up with something I can write as well.
That's impressive.
And it was you know, very impressive. I mean, to have that kind of courage, walk in a room full of strangers, and be ready to throw down like that. We started working on a song that we had musically an idea for, and a couple minutes into it, with David listening to it, he just started belting out these real catchy, hooky melodies, and it was kind of hard not to smile and give it away that we knew that he was the guy. But
It was pretty obvious.
yeah, it was very obvious. Going home that night and just remembering what he sang and remembering the melody of it was just something we haven't had before. And just from that point on, August of '96, we just start writing and start gigging out shortly after that.
Now, I've read a lot of interviews, like from back in that time, where you're out talking to people and you're still traveling in a van. Now you have this nice bus. But where did you guys get your first big break? I mean, what took it from playing little clubs to playing, you know, doing opening and then headlining? I mean, where was your break?
It's a bunch of little things. I don't know if it was any one thing in particular. There was.
When did you know that you guys had?
We started just like Danny started going through the Musician's Almanac and identifying all these A&R guys that we thought would be appropriate to start sending our material to. We did 2 successive demos with Johnny Kay, who became our producer for the past 3 records, and you know, my office over at the nursing facility I used to run became like Disturbed Inc., and we'd like ship all our mailing lists through there, and he'd give me like the addresses, and I'd put together the packages, and we'd send them out to all these guys and wait for correspondence back from them and from responses. And we got a couple and showcased for a couple people before we did this one thing, which I guess was the kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, which is this music festival in Chicago called Mob Fest. And initially we weren't on the bill. We submitted for it, and they turned us down. And but because apparently there was as much buzz about us as there was, they reconsidered and found a slot for us and put us on it. And it's kind of like a South by Southwest kind of a thing. And all of the A&R reps who were there for the weekend, I think there were like maybe 15 or 16. 12 of them came to our showcase that night, and there's usually about 6 or 7 shows going on any given night at the festival. So it was the most, you know, heavily attended, and I guess it all kind of started from there.
What's the one thing you guys bring on the road with you that kind of keeps you close to home? It's okay if it's a stuffed animal too.
It's easy for me. It's just my daughter and my wife are out right now, at least on the U.S. run. So that's something new, a new thing this time around. But I don't know what else.
Mike?
Lisa?
My dog.
The dog that caused the injury.
Well,
Yeah.
she
But
didn't.
she didn't. It was a homeless. We'll blame it on the homeless person.
Yeah.
The damn homeless people.
What kind of dog is it?
Thinking of.
She's an Akita.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want another Akita. I used to have an Akita.
Did you?
Yeah, I had to put her down, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
Akitas are wonderful dogs. They're so protecting. You don't have to worry about. You know.
You know,
Yeah.
she's pretty mellow. She's not.
But I'm just saying, if somebody tried to hurt you, she would stand up.
I don't know.
She's licking to death.
Maybe it's just because our dog was on the road.
She's very. I mean, she's a big slut. My dog. I mean, she just loves everybody. You know, she wants constant attention, constant love. Somebody gets in on the bus that she doesn't know, she's right away licking them. It's not like, you know, a single bark uttering out of her mouth. She's pretty quiet, pretty laid back. I guess I got lucky.
And Mike? Anything?
I share in Lisa and Maya.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's good to have a dog on the road.
And a stuffed animal in your
Brings
wardrobe
you back
case.
down to earth. When you wrote Stricken, can you tell me the subject matter of the song, like your view of it?
The subject matter is about a relationship that you're in that is so debilitating and stifling. It's as if you've been afflicted with a disease.
That sounds pretty heavy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's.
So the person that you wrote it about, did they know it's about them? Or was it just
Yeah.
some general...
Yeah, they do.
The general
actually.
stalkers out there.
No. She knows.
Is
She
she
knows.
happy that it's a hit, or is she just kind of melancholy?
She was kind of concerned.
I suppose as long as you don't say her name, she can live in anonymity.
Yeah, a lot of these songs are always written from a very cryptic sort of viewpoint, and so there's nothing ever very explicit in there that's identifying anyone, but the people who are involved, they know.
Now,
So
given the fact that you guested on Politically Incorrect a couple of
Mm.
times as a guest panelist, and within your bio, it says 3 of the songs are very pro-military, and how you've actually had people come up to you guys and say, it's inspired us and given us strength, that we've got that war going on right now, and there's nothing you can do about it, and isn't it great to have your music inspire people to get their inner strength going?
Oh, very much so. Nothing could make us more proud than to bring courage and fearlessness and strength to the people who are put in a horrific position of danger, that are, fighting to preserve our way of life and to do what they've been ordered to do. A lot of this record, it's actually more than 3 songs, deal with the conflict. While we're very much, like any person should be, anti-war, but we're staunchly pro-military. And, day after day, we come across soldier after soldier who comes up to us and says that they almost use the music as if in some sort of apocalypse now type of fashion, that literally they're playing it on the vehicles as they're, rolling into battle and
That's
stuff.
powerful.
That's, we couldn't be more proud, if it can bring them strength and instill fear in the hearts of our enemies, so be it.
Who decided, or if it was the whole band, to cover Genesis's Land of Confusion?
That was Danny.
What were you smoking? I think it's a great. I can't wait to hear it. I mean, I haven't even heard the CD yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't know if it if it gets a lot of negative feedback. I guess I gotta take a little backlash to that. But whatever, I think I was watching TV one day and they were showing flashback on '80s videos and the whole puppet thing, and there was Ronald Reagan hitting the nuke button at the end. I started thinking about the lyrics, and it just started making me realize that this is definitely something that David usually touches on these subjects, and the lyrics fit with the album and where we're headed with it. And I started thinking about it musically, and just the syncopation of the sequence going on in that song. It just seemed like something we could really nail down musically with Mikey's double bass drumming and with just the tight syncopated guitars with the drumming. It seemed we like picking those songs that are going to be challenging to us too, to be able to take them and put our stamp on it and not just cover the song but make it a Disturbed song. And I think the version came out great. I mean, that's why we ended up putting it on the album. It was,
I'm excited to hear it because you guys covered Tears for Fears Shout, and I thought you did a really good job with that. So,
And
Thank you.
This outdoes it, I think. It's very, very strong version of the song. And, we changed it pretty significantly in parts. Danny's thrown a guitar solo in there as well, which obviously wasn't in the original version. And just a completely different vibe. And, whether the guys from Genesis like it or not, we like it. That's really
Cool
what it
beans.
comes down to.
You have a very unique voice, and there's sounds that you make that are not human. And I'm wondering, how did you find this part of yourself? Were you like in the shower
In the
and
back
just making
lounge?
a bunch of weird noises?
No.
Or how did you know that you had this inside you? Because it's so wild. It's like,
I didn't.
Mm.
In fact, I never attempted any of these things before I, joined this band. So
is it something the music brought out?
Absolutely.
Because you kind of described it as primal.
Yeah, well, a lot of these rhythms and these beats, particularly, obviously, the introductory beat to Down with the Sickness is just a very tribal, primal sort of beat, and it just kind of puts you in a certain state of mind. And we used to just have this pause, before the song kicked in, and it always seemed empty to me. And one time during practice, I just kind of let out this staccato kind of thing that that you hear, obviously.
And we all look at each other and say, what
Yeah.
the hell is that?
Yeah, they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. Just humor me. There's something to this. And eventually it grew on them, and eventually it grew on everybody. And,
It's interesting because after that, it's like you see all these cover bands, learning the song, and it was like somebody in the band had to be able to do that because it's a
Yeah.
signature lick,
It's
so
not
to
easy.
speak. Yeah,
It's not easy
I
to
tried
do.
it and I can't do it.
That song continues to be one of the more, how shall I put it, damaging songs vocally in the set. There's a lot of very abrasive stuff in that song, whether it's the opening noise, the in the beginning of it, the whole rant that happens where I'm screaming the entire time. It's a rough song to pull off, and it always beats the hell out of me. But
How do you keep your voice on the road? I mean, junk food and not enough sleep and all the other, stuff that's floating around out there that I can't talk about, but people at home know what we're talking
well,
about. So-
I'm human, unfortunately, and sometimes life does get the best of me. But I can't let myself go as much as I'd like. Like these guys.
Yeah, we take up the slack for them.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of envious, when they're doing the Jaeger bombs on the other bus, or just lighting it up with some of the rest of the crew or the other bands. I got to be the good boy with my tea or my water on the bus, and my antacids, trying to make sure that my vocal cords don't burn up overnight.
Now, are you completely recovered from the surgery that you had back in '01?
I don't think I'll ever be completely recovered. It helped a lot. The surgery was to rebuild the valve at the top of my stomach, which had completely herniated away. So every time I'd lie down to go to sleep, my stomach acid would wash up and
Pretty much
cook my
burn?
vocal cords overnight, and I'd wake up with half my voice, and it was just frustrating. I had pretty strong acid reflux for a very, very long time, and I still do.
How did that not totally destroy your voice? I mean, was it just getting into the doctor right away and saying, hey, let's do something about this so I can still do what I do?
Well, the difference in before and after is the difference in the tonality of the voice that you can hear from the Sickness record to the Believe and the 10,000 Fists record. There's a lot more clarity. I have a lot more expanded range. There's just a lot more that I can do, and it's hopefully something that we'll be able to maintain and keep going. It's
Right on.
always a constant challenge.
Okay, what do you guys listen to when you're not doing your own stuff? Do you get on the internet, or do you have a favorite band from back home, or Britney Spears? That's okay.
I think there's a
Britney Spears.
could be a wide
Only
range
place-
at time.
Only place Britney Spears would have, and this is before she got knocked up, would be chained in our back lounge.
We appreciate good musicianship, and she obviously has no place in that category. So.
She sure can't shake her ass, though.
Who's your favorite drummer?
Favorite drummer?
Mhm.
We don't have enough time to go over that. I mean, there's so many.
If you had to pick somebody, if you could be flown out right now just to hang out with them all day and talk drums, who'd you go hang out
I've
with?
already done that with Vinnie Paul. He was pretty much the top guy, and it was cool to idolize him when I was growing up, and try and emulate his playing, and then be able to become a peer of his, and then also later on become a friend of his was pretty cool, pretty
That's
surreal.
great. Dan?
Drummers? Guitar players.
Guitar player. Who's your favorite stripper in Las Vegas? No, who's your favorite guitar player?
Same thing with, like Mike said. It's hard to pick a favorite, but the list pretty much goes on from Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath, Jerry
Who have you met that
Cantrell.
just totally has blown you away with how humble they are? Because that happens. So, like, you think they're going to be all, and then they just end up being just the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, Dimebag was definitely one of the most humble guys. Tom Morello's a really cool guy too. You know, as far as guitar players, great player and very just laid back guy. Zach Wilde is crazy. He's
hysterical.
he's so funny. The guy's hilarious,
It
and
just
he's
seems
always
like
a
he's
good
in
time. I mean, anytime we were around with Dimebag and Zach Wilde and us, I mean, there's been quite a few interesting moments.
You probably have some really cool road stories that probably we don't want to put on camera.
He's nuts. I mean, we weren't even on the road one time. I saw him on Sunset Strip just walking down the street. He was blitzed out of his mind. I pulled my truck over to the side. Our tour manager was with us at the time, and you know, I just honk on the horn. I'm like, Zach. He couldn't tell it was me. Comes over and just punches the side of my truck. Leaves a good sized dent, and my truck is like a tank. I mean, this guy is powerful. And I get out of the truck and I'm like, Zach, it's me, it's Dave. He's like, oh, Dave. You know, like, oh, it's you. You're like, and I was wearing some kind of, you know, fancy shirt. I was going to some kind of event. He's like, what kind of faggoty shirt you got on there? You know, that shirt's coming off. And there in the middle of Sunset Strip, he proceeds to rip the shirt off of me. and you know, and here's my tour manager in the truck laughing, you know, taking pictures on his camera phone.
Did he succeed in getting the shirt off of
he
you?
tore it all the way up the side and like ripped the pocket off, and you know, he's like, and I think I probably made it worse because when he made the whole, you know, faggoty comment, I went ahead and I said to him, well, that's the pot calling the kettle black. You're the one walking down the street in tight-ass blue jeans, a wife beater, and a leather vest. Who's the one? You know? And so he really kind of went off after that. But I'm telling you, it's not easy to wrestle with Zach Wilde. And
I wouldn't want to.
Just able to, like, you know, calm him down and contain him and, you know, get away. I still ended up going to the event with the torn shirt and everything, and everybody asked me, you know, how'd that happen? Like, Zach tore my shirt.
Something to be proud of.
Yeah.
I know you guys need to get to sound check, and looking forward to hearing you guys tonight. It's probably going to blow the roof off this place. I can't wait.
We'll give it a shot.
Plan on it.
So if there would be one last thing we'd ask you to do, there's a couple of station IDs. There's 2 different shows you guys will be on. The first one's 60 Seconds of Sound. I know it's a lot to say. And then the second one's downloaded. So maybe you could say, hi, we're Disturbed, and thank you for watching 60 Seconds of Sound. However you want to coordinate
Okay.
it.
And
Probably
do
done
on the
enough
line?
of these.
Sure. Let's look in the camera.
That one over there, yes.
Look into it lovingly.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike.
This is Dan.
This is David from Disturbed, and you're watching 60 Seconds of Sound.
Okay, then the last one will be, if you want to do the same thing and say, you've been downloaded.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike.
And I'm Dan.
And I'm David from Disturbed. You've been downloaded.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Cool.
Sure.
Do you mind getting the picture with me, with you guys? Have Lori do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Take these.
Can it be in the middle?
Mhm.
These things out here.
Yeah, let's get these guys off first. Take this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Careful. It's authentic Mediterranean Chester.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just stuck down here. Everybody kneel down. No, I'm just kidding.
Ready?
Yes.
I'm not ready.
I could stay like this for about a half an hour.
But I
These guys are warm.
can.